Okay, so in this video I'm going to show you how you can install OS X Mavericks Developer Preview 1 in VMware using a VMware image that I've created. Because it's a developer preview, which is basically a beta version, I'm not going to be providing as much support as I would for Mountain Lion, purely because due to the fact it's a beta, there could be things that don't work because of what Apple have done as opposed to what VMware has done, so I could sit there trying to fix something that's not actually fixable down my end kind of thing. Because of this, Intel users are perfectly fine, but AMD users are probably out of luck, just because this is a completely stock installation. There's nothing modified at all from the actual system, so it's exactly as if you just installed it on a Mac. Whereas in my other builds, I do optimize a few various things to make it a bit better. So AMD users, you're welcome to try, but don't be expecting anything great if it does work at all. However, once OS X Mavericks, the actual release installation, comes around, support will obviously go back to normal. And my reasoning for this is just that if another beta was to come out in a couple of weeks, all the work that I've done for beta 1 could be completely pointless and it's just a complete waste of time. So I'm sure you all understand about why that's not a smart thing to do. And so if you go to the link in the description, you'll find complete changelog and complete, what's happening in this image kind of thing. And you'll also find the download links. And in your download, you'll have these two files. And the reason I've put a command in there is just to extract the 7-zip archive, because some people seem to have issues and I don't really know why. So if you can't extract it through 7-zip normally, you can just use the command to extract it just by double clicking. And both ways, you'll end up with this folder here, which is the folder which contains the VMware image. And if I just go into there, you can see you should have these three folders. So the top one actually contains your VMware image, which I'll go into in a second. And the second two are folders which you're going to have to use to sort out your VMware. Now, most of you will probably already know how to do these, so off you go and do what you need to do. And for people that don't know what you need to do, you need to watch the two videos that are linked in the top left and the top right of the video right now. The Mac OS X guest unlock is the most important. That has to be done. There's no way getting around that with Mavericks currently. With Mountain Lion, I made it so you didn't have to do the Mac OS X guest unlocker, but now you have to for Mavericks. And the hardware virtualization bypasser is complicated to explain, so you should just go ahead and watch the video to see if you need to do that or not. But one thing I will point out about the hardware virtualization bypasser is that it only works up to VMware 8.0.3. It does not work on VMware 9. Now, the amount of emails I get about people asking about why it's not working on VMware 9 is purely because it says clearly in the patch that it works up to VMware 8.0.3. So that's why that doesn't work. So if you're like reliant on that, you're going to have to downgrade to VMware 8, which isn't actually that big a deal because all my images are actually built on VMware 8 anyway, so they're built to be compatible, so there shouldn't be any issues. So once you run through with both of those, just go into your Mavericks folder and double click the VMX file, which is the three little blue squares. Now, as I said, it's a stock installation, and because of this, nothing has been set up on the VM at all. It's literally as though you'd installed it on a Mac and just left. So that's the state it's at right now. And in a couple of days, I might bring out like a script which allows you to basically convert and install ESD into a VMDK, depending on a couple of things that I would have to get sorted with just the way it kind of does things in different timings and stuff. But we'll see if we can get that sorted, because I know a lot of people were asking about that. So that's just something I might do. And I apologize if my video seems to be going a bit slow. It's obviously I'm recording. There's also quite a bit going on in the background, so if it's being a bit laggy, that's why. It should be fine on your PC. And once you've opened it in VMware, you should see this screen or something similar depending on which VMware you're using. If you're using VMware 7, incidentally, you'll have to delete the VMX, create a new VMX with the same configurations in your VMware, and then just direct it to the VMDK that I've provided. The reasoning for that is I don't build them with 7 compatibility just because I like to actually use it with VMware 9 compatibility, and most people have upgraded to 8 anyway, so if you're using 7 still, you can just delete the VMX, create a new VMX, and then assign the hard drive to that VMX, and it should just work. So On this screen, you can see the contact details in the bottom left if you need to find me anywhere. As I said, support won't be massive. Like, I'll help you if you have like a simple kind of error, but if there's something that I have no idea what it's doing, then I'm just going to leave it and see if Apple improve it, or see what happens and go see what changes with it. So up here in the virtual machine settings, you can edit various things you want to edit. Everything that it is now is basically how I use it, and it works just fine. So it all depends on what you want to do. And one thing I'm going to say straight away is that I have no idea how iMessage works with this build. I haven't tried the enabler. So if people do try the enabler, can you let me know on Twitter or something, and then let me know how it went so I can add it to the post that I do about this image, and I can add it to the video description and so on, just so we know if it's not working or if it is working. And that's all I had to say about that, really. You can change all your processes and stuff, but yeah, basically I just leave everything as it is because it functions just fine, and everything in here is fine as well. Similar to the iMessage enabler, I don't have a clue about how VMware tools are going, how VMS VGA is going. I think after having looked at Mavericks on my actual Mac, I think in my actual Mac VMware, so I should say in Fusion, I think VMware tools should be fine. There seems to be a slight bug with VMS VGA, but I'm not entirely sure about that. You'll have to look on Insanely Mac or on the SourceForge site or whatever and see what's going on there. But VMware tools should be working fine. And so yeah, once everything's configured how you want it, just OK that and then power on the machine. As I said, you can see down the bottom it's built for VMware 8, so everything should work on 8 and 9, and 7 will work fine as well. The only differences between the configurations is that they support up to different amounts of RAM, and you can also have HD audio on VMware 9, I think, or maybe 8. One of them allows HD audio, and then 7 doesn't, or something like that. Right, so VMware is now starting up. You can see currently it's just the typical VMware screen. There's no kind of fancy graphics going on or anything. That's all something that you guys will have to do with VMware tools or otherwise, because obviously I haven't built it in yet because I don't know how it works. I don't know how it's working with Mavericks, so. Right, so you can see that after about a minute, the spinner freezes, and in the top left, you should have a mouse pointer. It takes about a minute to boot, maybe less depending on how fast your machine is. Mine just took probably about a minute because it's been quite slow today for some reason. And you'll see the Mac spinner top left, and then here we are in the setup menu. So you can go ahead and set it up as you would. As I said, your installation will be faster than this. It's just because my machine's actually doing a bunch of stuff that I didn't really have time to cancel. So I'm just going to skip all this. I'm not actually sure how that, if that the Apple ID thing works, because it's obviously the same issue that the enabler has, that the enabler fixes. So I'm not entirely sure how that goes. But as I said, let me know, and then I can let everybody else know. So if I just and you probably already seen by now that Mavericks has a slightly different setup screen to Mountain Lion. but it's nothing really that special. It's just registering a few things differently. And there we go, start using your Mac. It goes without saying that the first boot is slower than every other boot you're going to receive, purely because it sets up more things and does things differently to how it would boot to start, like on an actual completed installation. So if it takes, you know, a good like 5 minutes the first time you're booting it up, don't worry about that. It should improve afterwards. And once it's actually completely booted, we can see that it is actually OS X Mavericks. You can see the new Maps icon, you know, the standard Apple applications on the bottom. And once Finder has decided to load itself up, we can see that if we go to About This Mac, you can see version 10.9, and there you go, you're on OS X Mavericks. Incidentally, if upon first boot, Finder, the Finder bar is being kind of buggy on this side. That side works fine, but just over here, if it sticks on Setup Assistant, just restart the VM and it'll work just fine. And yeah, that's all I have to say. You can see that if I go up here and mess about with the sound, maybe you can hear it. Hang on. Let me turn my sound up. If I change the sound, you can hear it. So sound is working in the VM. So that's a good sign. I don't think there's anything else that's buggy. Perhaps Launchpad is, but I'm not going to open it now because if it freezes, it'll obviously stick my VM. But everything seems to be working just fine that I would use normally. So, you know, stuff like Xcode and, you know, various, you know, different Mac apps, they all seem to work just fine. So that should be good enough for everybody. And yeah, apart from that, I have nothing else to say. So if you have any issues, either tweet me or email me or post on the site, which is linked in the description, or just leave a comment on YouTube. Probably the best place to actually go for support would just be to tweet me because it's easier to reply. I do get a lot of emails, so if I'm slow to respond, I'm sorry. I'm doing the best I can. And yeah, that's about it. Any issues, I'll write up into the post, so if anything becomes known, I'll make sure that everybody else that's using the image knows about them. And as I said, people who try the iMessage enabler, just let me know how it goes. And again, as I said, everything on this actual VM is completely as stock. Nothing has been edited in any way at all. So if you have any issues, it's just basically down to Apple probably. I can't see any other reason why stuff wouldn't work. So yeah, that's it. Like this video, favorite it, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more stuff like this. I'm going to start posting videos a lot more because I've got more time now. So different ways of setting up VMs, you know, different like scripts that are useful for doing things and stuff are going to start coming out hopefully. I'm also updating the site to add the FAQ page, and I'm also doing a few various other things. So everything that has been asked will be answered in some way somewhere. So I'll make sure that's updated fairly soon. And yeah, the only thing I would say in addition to any of this is if you do make some sort of video or guide based on what I've shown in this video, please use the same download links on my actual site. So the soldevteam.net/blog/downloads page. Please use those actual downloads because yeah, we just like to make sure that we're credited with everything we do, and people hosting the files on their own stuff is kind of besides the point because it's free anyway, so you're basically just taking credit. So that's the one thing that we do ask. And yeah, so hopefully this video has been helpful. I'm sorry it took like a week to get done. I've just been ill for the last few days, so I tried to get it done as soon as possible. And yeah, as I said, support, I'll give you the best support I can, but obviously if it's an Apple bug, then that's just something you're gonna have to deal with. That's just the life of beta, unfortunately. And yeah, so thanks for watching. I hope this was helpful, and I will update the VMware image as it's needed. So hopefully you can do whatever it is you're wanting to do in your VM. Hopefully this has helped you. If you're looking for something more stable, check out my mountain lion builds. And apart from that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks. Bye.